When your parents said that marrying early is sunnah, your parents were right. Because the beloved Prophet Muhammad said, it's mentioned Hadith of Sahih Bukhari, volume number 3, Hadith number 1905, the Prophet said, O young people, whoever has the means to get married should get married. O young men, whoever has the means to get married should get married. That means early marriage is encouraged in Islam, but the age is not specified. But natural, marriage is only after you have reached adulthood, that is puberty. But there is no specified age, whether it should be 20 or 19 or 18 or more or less. There is no specified age. But yes, what your parents said is correct. Marrying early is a sunnah. If you can afford it, all the more better. Every society, every person may have a different view what should be the right age for marriage, but early marriage is preferable, but the age is not specified. Now looking at the scenario that we have today in this 21st century, we are now living in 2021, if you ask me, based on my experience, I would say that the age would depend upon the society that you're living in and the culture, etc. But since most part of the world, I'm talking about educated people, I would say that for a girl, the most appropriate age, if everything is normal, would be 21 to 23 years. And for a boy, would be 23 to 24. Now this is my view. I'm not saying this is the view of the Sharia. The Sharia view is early marriage is better. This is out of my experience. It's nothing to do with that this is what is fixed by Islam. This I said is the most appropriate. Depending upon the situation, a few years early can become more appropriate. A few years late can be more appropriate. Everything differs. But under normal circumstances, if you are a normal human being, normally educated person, so this is my view. For the girl, 21 to 23 years, and for a boy, 23 to 25. This is my assumption. Because my assumption is based on that a normal person normally can become a graduate at the age of 21. If not 21, at the age of 22 or 23, a person can become graduate. If he fails or there are some problems, then may take 24 or 25. So I feel that living in this modern age, it is not a must that you should be a graduate, and I'll come to it later on. But seeing the various scenario, I do agree with you. You don't know how the in-laws are, whether the in-laws will agree that you continue your studies or not. And all these, because of the situation that we have in the society, my view is based on we don't know how will your in-laws be. So that's the reason to be on the safe side. This is my view. Of course, the person can marry earlier than that and it will be perfectly fine. Sometimes it may become a farz to marry more earlier than that, if it's a requirement, or it may be a farz that you, or maybe mustahab for you to delay your marriage, depending upon each individual situation. This is generally said. And for a boy, I put 2 years elder because a boy normally is elder. There's nothing in the Sharia that the boy should be older than the girl, but this is normal society. So what your parents said, that early marriage is sunnah, they are perfectly correct. This is the hadith of the Prophet of Sahih Bukhari, volume number 3, hadith number 1905. What your relatives said, that if you marry late, your options would be less, there are chances of getting a good husband is less, and they are perfectly correct. That doesn't mean you marry very early, but if you start looking for a husband at an earlier age, your chances are more, because normally the husbands are elder to the wives. Whether it be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, no problem. But normally the husbands are younger to the wife. It's not haram. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, he was at the age of 25 when he married his first wife, Khadija radiallahu anha. She was 40 years old, 15 years elder. So you can also say it is sunnah for a boy to marry a girl who is elder to him, But anyway, this is not a fiqh sunnah, but it's a fact. So everything is subjective. But what your relatives and friends said is right. If you delay too much, then your options will be less, because all the younger boys would not come into the option that you can marry. So if you marry too late, your chances of getting a good husband just get less. Coming to your view, the main question, that you said that you want to finish your graduation before you marry so that you finish your study, it's a good view. But to say that your in-laws will not allow you to complete your graduation, I don't agree with it 100%. There are many who would agree, but I do agree with you that most of them may not. But many will. So if you want to get married, you put your condition. So if you want to fulfill the wish of your mother to get married early, what you can do? Okay, fine. If you can get me a life partner who will allow me to permit me to complete my graduation, I will marry early. You can very well marry and yet complete your graduation. There are many Muslim families where I know that the husband permits the wife to complete her graduation or a further studies, whether it be master's or PhD. And of course, if my wife would like to do further studies, she's most welcome. I'm sure my son would allow his wife when he gets married to, if she wants to do further study, rather he'll encourage her whether to do master, as long as it is an education which is beneficial, especially if it is Islamic studies. He would prefer. Why not? Everything is depending upon what type of life partner are you looking for.